How's it going, guys? It's the final render here, and welcome back to another episode of Fallout 4 Building with Mods. This is the last interior video we are doing in our Diamond City mod that's taken several months, and we're going to be taking this tower right at the back of the city that's modeled after one of those Japanese feudal towers, and we are going to be turning it into a Church of Atom and power station. We're going to be building a nuclear power station out of an old ICBM inside there. Very strange idea, I know, but it will all make sense when you start to see it. And since this is the very final episode of building the interiors, it means after this, all we got to do is make some NPCs, write all the lore terminals, and then we can release the mod. So let's go! So to start off with building the interior, we are going to grab all of the exterior walls and then copy and paste them into an interior cell. This is exactly how we built our bar and also our player home. And the nice thing about doing it this way is that it means the interior is exactly the right size it's meant to be. It's not bigger on the inside than the outside would allow, which is really nice. However, I wish I could have went ahead and made it bigger on the inside for this build because space is very confined in this place. And the whole idea of this design, to kind of have the Japanese feudal tower design, was that I want to have a nuclear ICBM making all the nuclear power. And I want that going up the entire tower. So therefore, everyone who is praying in the Church of Atom can all be praying equal distance from the rocket. It's not like a church where you'll have the pastor at the front and then some people sitting at the back. Everyone can be in a circle around the missile. Kind of like Arthur's Knight of the Round Table in a way. You know, everyone is equal in this place, which is great. So, this is a 3-story tower, and unfortunately we had to go ahead and change the rails which we originally used, because it's very, very small in this tower, very confined indeed, but I love the idea of having 3 stories and having light shining through the roof. And the reason there is a hole in the roof is because we have a nuclear ICBM powering the entire city. Now I know what you're going to say, final render, you Titanic Superman. Why on earth would you use a missile to go ahead and have a fusion generation? Or even worse, how did you even get it up there? It doesn't make sense. I'm going to employ the law of imagination and say this is cool, so let's just do it. You know what I mean? Forget about it being realistic. And unfortunately, they don't actually have any nuclear missiles in the base game. Everything which we do in this mod does not use DLC or external assets. So therefore, we had to make one ourselves. And considering we made it ourselves, I think the missile looks pretty good. We got a nuclear warhead from the Yangtze submarine at the top. We've got a big pipe in the middle. And we have got the kind of rocket engine that you could find at ArcJet Systems being the main rocket engine at the bottom. So we kit bashed it, you know, we put it together from scratch. And I think it looks very, very cool. It looks kind of scrappy. It looks like people have deliberately tried to take it apart in order to turn it into a generator, which I absolutely love. And this place needs to primarily be a power station first and a church second. It's easy to go ahead and make a power station, and it would be very easy to make it look like a Church of Atom if I was using the Far Harbor DLC, but I'm not, simply because I want everybody to be able to download this mod, not just people who also have Far Harbor, if that makes sense. And the whole idea is to have terminals everywhere, lots of monitoring equipment, and lots of smoke and effects. And since it is also a nuclear generation area, I needed to have some little barrels for waste. And this is the only place which actually emits nuclear radiation. I didn't want to fill the place with loads of nuclear radiation, because otherwise the player won't want to come in here. I want everybody to want to be in here so they can explore all the design work we've done. So there's only one little corner which actually emits radiation, and I think that's okay, you know, just kind of imagine that all the people in the Church of Atom want to be here because I want to be around it, but not necessarily be soaked in radiation, because otherwise the player won't want to come in here, if that makes sense. Maybe I'll change that, I don't know. And here we go, putting down all the prayer mats around the place, and lots of cables coming off the rocket as well. The rocket is the center, so all the terminals connect to the rocket, and all the prayer mats are around the rocket, which I think is really cool. I also love the idea of having these funguses growing on the walls, these nuclear funguses, because this place has got lots of condensation in there. They need to keep the reactor cool. So there is an awful lot of fungus and stuff growing on the walls as they try to keep the place cold and also wet. So I think it's kind of a nice little idea to do that. And as I said, lots of terminals, lots of little decorations for the bottom floor, and I think it's great. But I also wanted to go ahead and do something a little bit different. I wanted to kind of invent something that we hadn't seen before. And the idea was to go ahead and build a fusion core recharge station. Because if you think about it, these fusion cores they're meant to recharge your home, they're meant to power your cars. I would be very annoyed if I bought one and it turns out it runs out of power. You know, I would want to be able to recharge it. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool to go ahead and have a kind of recharge station so you can take your dead fusion cores and recharge them here. And I think that kind of not only makes the place look a bit more believable, it kind of gives the place a little bit of function, but also I just think it's a bit cool. You know, we haven't seen anything in Fallout to suggest that you can go ahead and recharge these fusion cores. So I like it, because after all, if you make the fusion cores, surely you need to go ahead and have some kind of machine which makes them. Maybe you can have a machine which recharges them also. I don't know. And also, as I said, lots and lots of smoke, lots of air vents. This place needs to be kept under very strict temperature conditions to stop the fusion reaction, or the fission reaction I should say, from overheating and melting down the entire building, which would be very bad, of course. Have some wires connecting to all the terminals and then call it done. Now, as I said, this place was not actually very hard to do. It didn't take too long, but I love the way it looks. We've got lots of subtle smoke effects, lots of terminals, and it just feels very authentic. And when we have NPCs in here as well, I think that'll look really, really good. Have people praying down on the prayer mat. There are little markers on there, so NPCs will pray around the missile. And also have all the machinery around to go ahead and give power to the city. As I said, I wanted to have a nuclear power station, but I don't want the rich snobs over in the Upper Diamond City to want to work there. So therefore they let the children of Atom work there. Then they can be around the missile, get irradiated as much as they want, and they can go ahead and keep the city alive. But what I love the most about this place is the lighting and also the effects. The way that you can see the sun shining down through the center of the tower and have all the coolant kind of emitting this fine mist throughout the entire tower. It looks really, really good. And the player can go to each story. There are little ladders and trapdoors, so you can go ahead and explore each story if you want to. There are 3 stories in total, and it just feels very quaint in a way. You know, it feels like a very scrappy generator, but it's probably one of the most efficient generators you're going to find in the entire city in a way, and throughout all Diamond City. The rest of it probably comes from oil generators or something, but this place, nuclear power, I think it looks really, really good. Feels a lot like my Virgil build, which I did, and I really, really like it. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. It's been a very cool one. As I said, it's kind of a short one as well. It didn't take too long to do this interior, but this is the final interior of the entire Diamond City mod build, and it's very, very cool to go ahead and see most of the building all done. There's only one more thing I'm going to do building wise, and that is I'm going to build an apartment which is just empty, so you can go ahead and have a workshop in there for you to decorate your own building if you want to. But besides that, all we got to do is build all of the custom NPCs that we are going to be making, optimize it, and then we can release the mod, which is really, really cool. And remember guys, if you are a $5 and up patron or a YouTube sponsor, you get to have an NPC named after you in this mod. We've already got lots of people lining up for that, and it'd be great to go ahead and get some more to help support the channel. So, thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I'll be the final render, and you've been the audience. Remember to check out all the cool Patreon people in the description below who help support the channel with their financial donations. You yourself, of course, can also do the same, and I'll see you in the next live stream build. Bye-bye for now.